Hi everyone! I've been wanting to do a little flip through of my Hobonichi journal. I'm just going to be flipping from January to March, the first quarter of this year, and I just want to show you my progress. This year I decided to get the Hobonichi Day Free version. I've been a huge fan of the Hobonichi brand for a long time. I've used their 365-day journal. I've had their weekly version too. But I decided to try out the day free because I wasn't a big fan of the 365-day version because, you know, some days you get busy and there just really isn't that much to write. So sometimes I can't fill up a whole page, or maybe I got busy and there really isn't anything to write about. And I just didn't like seeing all these empty pages when I could actually fill up so many. And then I tried the weekly and it worked for a bit, and then I realized that on days that I actually have a lot to write about, there really wasn't much space. It was great for days when I wasn't busy, so I could just like maybe write a sentence or two just to explain what happened during my day, but otherwise if I did have a lot to write about, I didn't have the space for it. And I could just put it on the blank page on the right side, but I didn't really like doing that because it didn't really correspond to which day it was. It felt more like a summary for what happened during the week. So this year, since the day free came out, I decided to try it out. And yeah. So it does come with a monthly calendar in the beginning, and I tried decorating a bit and adding appointments that I had or homework, and that worked out for a bit until March-ish because I decided to go with a file fax system instead. Yeah, not much decoration here. And let's jump to first. I tried to do a slight bullet journal-esque style, but mostly a journal style because I did have things to do every day, and although it's not much, I just wanted to take note of it so I would remember it. And I ended up not liking that system, so I did change to the file fax later on, but that's why you see this. I like seeing a summary of what I have to do for each month in the beginning, so that's what this page is for. And a little task log, and I have quotes occasionally on every page that are all in caps, and that's when I tried to translate the little quotes at the bottom of the Hobonichi journal. I studied Japanese a little bit in high school, and it's definitely not perfect, so I do use Google Translate to help me with some words. So it's always a rough translation, but I do like the idea that comes across sometimes when I do understand what they're trying to say. In the beginning of the year, I decided to do little 2020 goals. One of them was to work on my art, find my style, and if possible, start an art tour this year. It's an art goal every year, and it still hasn't happened, but I do hope every year, and I try to work hard to do so. I want to work on my Chinese and Japanese, and spend more time with my bird, Loki, right here. And maintain use of a journal, which has been a huge goal for me because I could never finish the weekly or the 365 one. But yeah, I have a little doodle of Loki here, and it says, "This birdie likes to be where all the people are. If he's not in the room with where everybody else is, he starts squawking a lot because he wants to be part of the family. He doesn't like to be off on his own." This little card was from Sora-san, a Japanese paper store, and she made this little paper here, and it says Nanten. I will link her shop in the description, and I really like her work. So here you can see like I have my appointments, I have my lecture times, and maybe some small tasks that I wanted to do. That was just a Netflix binge that I had scheduled with my roommate, and maybe some homework so I remember to do them that day. I have another doodle of Loki. It says, I am 90% fluff. That day, it's funny because I wanted to get a leash for Loki so I can go outside with him, and the store asked for his weight so that they can accommodate it correctly, and I was worried that Loki might have been a bit overweight because he does look pretty big for a green sheep conure. And I finally got my hands on a little scale, and when I did weigh him, he was 71.3 grams. And that is actually a very healthy weight for a green sheep conure. It's like right in the middle. So it turns out he's not fat at all. He's very healthy. He's just very, very fluffy. The reason why you see some post-its around is so that I can cover up some private information. Chinese New Year. This was a little doodle I did on design thinking for a logo that I wanted, and I wanted to make a wax stamp for my logo. All these little papers that you see is actually from Camel Garden or Camel Garden. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, but that's her brand right there. She's on Instagram too, and I just love her 365 collage paper. They're all made out of washi paper, very thin, and each one has its own little design that I like to incorporate into my journal. And again, a little quote. So now moving on into February. Same layout with bullet journal style month page and a little to-do list. I have another little birdie doodle that I thought was adorable. I pine for you. This was a little empty page. I had originally planned to draw something there, put in a sketch, but I didn't get around to doing that. My boyfriend took me to Disneyland the day before Valentine's Day. They had a after dark sweethearts night, and it was a really lovely date night. We went just before the whole pandemic lockdown started, so yeah, I'm really happy we got to go before everything happened. So into March, I did order some stickers from Cheyenne Barton, and they're so cute. I love them, and I have them scattered throughout my journal too. And this one was a little freebie. This is another paper by Sora-san. This is a wrapping paper from Nico Neko, a stationery store that I like to order online from, and her design was so beautiful I had to keep it in my journal somehow. And this was a sticker from Cheyenne Barton's packaging that I wanted to recycle into my journal, and this is part of her stationery packaging as well. small little thing I really liked was the style for how I wrote it in March, and I decided to go with that kind of calligraphy for the rest of this journal. And this was the day that Animal Crossing came out. I did nothing else except play Animal Crossing, and I'm not ashamed of that. This was actually a block print that I carved out to celebrate Animal Crossing, and I decided to also press it into my journal. The reason why I really like Hobonichi paper, which is the Tomoe River paper, is that it can really handle inks really well. It doesn't bleed through. There's a lot of paper where if you press a stamp through, it really bleeds through the paper and affects other pages too, but not with this one. It's really good. It also works with fountain pens, which you usually need really heavy duty paper for, but it also works on this Hobonichi's paper. And yeah, that is my journal flip through for the first quarter of 2020. Thanks for watching. Bye.